Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 22nd of August. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Gary, August coming to an end. I've got to tell you, I do not know what's happening with the year. And having said that, we're so busy now on the weekend. The sales are coming thick and fast. Our lovely hearts, loved it, bought it, are going up everywhere. Loved it, leased it, going up everywhere. Are you detecting the bouncy mood that I'm feeling?
Well, I can see you feeling it. I'm detecting it because you're actually literally bouncing while we're speaking, Phil. But look, it's always a great time of year. August is one of those months where you're batten down the hatches, Phil, because it's a full month. There's no long weekends. There's no holidays. There's no, school breaks. It's just a full-on, it's like a military operation in August. You just keep marching on through it, because it's a big month.
And unlike September, Gary, and September's full of, you've got the grand final, you've got school holidays, you've got religious holidays.
Yes.
There's a lot happening in September.
Distractions.
Having said that, one thing I do want to point out to viewers is that in this online world, this WhatsApp world, this FaceTime world, this Zoom world, everyone is so connected that, remember in the old days, you can't open for inspection during school holidays, you can't auction on that weekend. The reality is everybody's so interconnected via all of this great tech that just business as usual every month.
Well, we got onto this a long time ago, Philip. People, it all started off in Acton Street, didn't it? Where, they said, you know what? We don't care what the rest of Australia's at. We're opening on Sunday. You remember that? You were a wee lad when that happened. And then Frank Pelham-Hallierack, he just said, I'll do time. You take me.
Bless his heart.
I'll do time, bless his heart, because I'm going to open on the weekends. And it just meant that all of us just had to work our butts off, Phil, and we've done so ever since.
So I think my question that I'm kind of posing in a roundabout way is, why would we let's just ignore the calendar, let's ignore the grand final, let's ignore the horse races,
and just
ignore public holidays.
Let's ignore sleep.
No.
Just work every second of every day for the rest of our lives.
I just don't think that you can have now an auction campaign anytime. You can also, we've proven time and time again that you can have an auction on Thursday evening.
I want a midnight auction
evening.
before I ever retire, which is a long time given how much debt I'm in. I'm telling you now, Phil, I want a midnight auction. Well, I want you to back me on this.
Well, I will happily back you. You find the client that will agree to the midnight auction. I'll be the auctioneer. I might well come in my pajamas. And that would be kind of fun at the same time.
Instead of having a coffee van, we'll have tea, and cocoa.
Chamomile.
Cocoa, and port, Phil.
I don't know how we got onto this, Gary.
I have no idea.
Let's come back to the essence of this
weekend.
show.
We'll talk about the clearance rates. Hang on a second, Phil, because I want to just announce what happened. REA said it was 67%. Domain said 69%. They're the clearance rates that have been announced, Phil. But lo and behold, at Gary Peer and Associates, 80%. Put up those towers, play the Bose music, and let's have a little happy moment.
12 out of 15, Gary, and 15 is a really good number. Well, it's a quiet weekend, but it's enough for us to get a sense of the mood, for us to put our finger on the pulse.
It doesn't really quite pay the bills, though, does it, Phil?
No,
it doesn't really quite pay the bills.
Talk
about paying the bills.
But Gary, let me finish. I'm sick of you talking over me all the time.
I want your wife on this, because your wife will tell you, and she's told me, and she told all her friends and family, that Philip talks over Gary in GPTV.
Yeah, but
and she's intelligent. What, are you going to bag her now? You're going to question her?
Not at all. It's only realistic that she attempts to give you some support, given how sensitive and fragile your ego is. But I do just want to say that
I've always liked
15
her.
In fact. 15 is enough auctions for us to get a mood of the market. We had multiple bidders on a lot of things.
You're batting out of your league with her. She's always been too good for you.
Some of the properties went really well. On balance, I'm calling this market a good, solid, improving market.
Okay, you can call it whatever you like. I tell you what I am calling, though, a lot more listings are coming through. So if you're a buyer, get excited, because there's going to be some more to choose from. And if you're a seller, there's going to be more activity rolling through, Phil. So that's one thing we know.
Activity breeds activity, Gary.
It does, Phil. Cheap agents. I want to talk about cheap agents, Phil, as a bit of a topic of discussion.
Have you got anybody in particular? Is this a name and shame episode?
No, I'm not going to name and shame. Different. I'm not going to name and shame them. But we did see the fall of a cheap property management service called Different. And I've got to say, I feel sorry for people that anyone that ever opens a business and has a crack and doesn't succeed, I feel sorry for. But, unfortunately, Phil, and Different, and we learnt this with Purple Bricks as well, who were going to do us a great favour. The whole world was going to be better off with Purple Bricks doing cheap commissions. But I've got to say, Phil, that there's just not a way to do this business cheap. And I think as we come into a busy time, people are deciding which agency to choose as well for their sales. Just be aware of the cheap agent, because for those people that signed up with Purple Bricks, for example, Phil, they had campaigns going. All of a sudden, there was no Purple Bricks anymore. They went out of business. And I think, Phil, just on this, you pay for expertise and resources, Phil, and you can't get those cheap. You can be competitive, but cheap is a problem.
Well, I think you've nailed it, and this is where I'm going to come from. There is cheap. Yep. There is cheaper, and then there is
competitive.
Good, then there is good value. And competition. We don't live in a vacuum, so there is competition out there all the time. But the one thing that we've learnt along the decades is that business models that just revolve around cost generally do not deliver the levels of service that people selling their major asset want. And there is an old cliche, and I love this cliche. It may be self-serving, but I'm going to go with it anyway. That is, price is forgotten. Let me start again, because it's
a good one.
It's complex.
You've got to get it right.
Quality is long remembered after price is forgotten.
Yeah, it's a nice saying.
So if you think that one through, and I think about all of the times I've cut corners in my personal life buying something or not doing it to the standard or paying for the level of service.
So you've been a tight ass, is that what you're saying? You've been a tight ass over your journey, and it's come back and it's bit you on the bum.
We all do fall into the trap, whether it be, for example, you think you've got a budget, so you spend what you think your budget allows for, knowing that the product over there is better. Invariably, after a little while, you wish you'd spent the extra money to go with the quality product.
By that time, Phil's too late.
Quality is remembered long after price is forgotten.
Anyway, look, we're not, for those people that are cynics who watch this show, and there's plenty of them, you might think, well, these guys are spruiking this because they're expensive. I don't believe we're expensive. I think we're very competitive, Phil, in the market. We couldn't hold our position if we weren't. No. But just be careful of cheap, because at this time of year especially, you get some inexperienced sellers. They'll get seduced by, someone that gives them a very high appraisal. And a very low commission. And that's music to your ears. But
cheap advertising.
Then the reality cuts in, Phil. Just be really careful of that. That's just my little pitch out there, Phil, just for people. Even if you don't go with us, just don't go with the cheapest choice, because it can actually become the most expensive decision that you ever make.
I think if we go back to the Purple Bricks model, Purple Bricks proved one thing, that they came out with the cheapest possible offering.
Yeah, they did.
And the reality is the market tried it.
There was some appetite.
And then ran away from it. Yes. And that's why it collapsed in Australia.
And they were run out of town back to the UK or
well, we didn't run them out of town. It was just a simple thing. Here is our proposition. And the marketplace did try it. They nibbled at it. And then they decided, no, that doesn't taste very nice. And they spat it out.
And let's face it, if you're a seller, you actually hire agents to negotiate for you. And if you're not a good negotiator, even at the time where you're employed, you wonder how you're going to be a good negotiator. Well, it's that old cliche, isn't it, Gary? If I cannot negotiate a fair and reasonable fee for myself, do you want to let me loose on the buyers for your massive assets? Well, I don't know if I want to let you loose on anything, quite frankly, but I understand what you're saying, Phil. You're very true.
Gary, the weekend was good.
There was good.
Things that sold
people out there.
well.
Hey, I'm liking this sunshine. There's a bit of sunshine for this sort of cold time. You're liking the sunshine?
Do you know what?
I'll probably not a good time to talk to you about sunshine, because you've got a few sunny spots that aren't favouring you too well.
I'm constantly at the dermatologist and a bit of a health check. If you haven't had your skin checked, you do need to do it once a year at a minimum, twice a year if you're really careful. But I've completely lost my.
I like doing that. I love throwing him. I like steering him away. It's fantastic. You're talking about the weekend that was, Philip, and I was talking about the sunshine.
Oh yes,
and then we're talking about cheap agents, and then we're talking about the Carlton Football Club and how we beat Melbourne 2 weeks. We're talking about that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay, fair enough. Go on.
But you were talking about the sunshine.
Yeah,
it was only last week. I opened the back door of our office to go to an appointment. I think it was circa 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
and it was still light. And there is that moment. There is that moment where it's like, winter's leaving.
Goodbye.
Spring is coming.
Out you go. Out the door.
Feeling better.
And before you know it, there'll be daylight savings, and because even booking auctions, I booked an auction the other day, and I thought, it's in October. It's going to be daylight savings.
I love daylight savings.
I like it too.
Here's a question to the politicians. I'm going to throw this to the politicians. Why do we stop daylight saving?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Why wouldn't we just start daylight saving when we start it, but never end it.
But you know what? You're a bit of an early bird. Like for me, I'd be happy if the sun came up at 9 o'clock and just kept going till midnight. You know, like that would suit me. So for me, just keep cranking it out.
Well, you could be coming home watching the sunrise.
Yeah, I've done that many times actually.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
You have.
Not healthy, Phil.
Take us through some interesting stats.
Yeah, I'll take you through some stats. Well, I've been through the stats, Phil. Some good numbers out there, some good sales, and some good results. And we had some competitive, very competitive auctions too. Not all of them were. Just going to call it as it is, Phil. They weren't all competitive.
I don't mind saying this. I'm going to cut in. I know you've done the research. So, Gary, I just want to talk about where I started my Saturday morning.
Why don't you?
I've cut you off now, which is getting us back into balance. But
I was happy with the balance before.
I started in Warrigal Road, Surrey Hills. Now, there's a lot of viewers say, well, where do we sell? We sell everywhere. We sell anywhere that a client entrusts us to act for them.
Have gavel, will travel, Phil. That's our thing.
I like the motto.
Do you have a gavel?
I don't.
Don't you?
I don't have
we should get a gavel.
I should get a gavel.
And all our auctioneers should be given gavels, Phil. And we should have a gavel smacking day or something.
Rusty old real estate
and a bell. I love the bells, Phil. Oh, hear ye, auction in the square.
Anyway,
I love the bell.
Warrigal Road, Gary. I had 5 people bidding on this property. We sold it so far over reserve it wasn't funny. It just goes to show, because we'd sold the front one in this development and really struggled, and then we sell the back one, and it was like it could have been 2 completely different locations.
Look, I think you just got better. I think you got better as an auctioneer as you went from that last auction to the next one. I think you got better. You understood Surrey Hills better. You did a better job. You stood up to the plate and you smashed it out there.
I'm always looking to raise the bar, Gary, and I looked straight down the camera and say, this is my commitment to you viewers. I might have been doing this for a very long time, but I'm always in search of improvement.
Exactly.
Anyway. And I know a lot of you are thinking, Philip, how could you possibly improve
I've got
what
some
you
ideas.
are already?
I can help.
I'm always looking to raise the bar. Ideas at garypeer.com.au. If you've got some ideas as to how I might improve, feel very free to give us your unfiltered, uncensored feedback.
It's going to be a hotline there, Phil.
There's a challenge.
There's an invitation.
And I've got to tell you, there's a prize in this for whoever. I'm not sure what it'll be, but there will be a lovely gift for whoever was the most insightful, impactful, and has got the best ideas to see how I might improve.
Some of those ideas, and it's a challenge. You remember when we did the MND challenge?
Yes.
Remember what you did then? I don't know if anyone knows this story, but it's a good story. So MND is a great cause.
Motor neuron disease.
Yeah, and it's it's like a terrible worst affliction, horrible thing. And there's people we know that are going through it at the moment. But we sold the motor neuron office.
Yes, we did.
Head office in Kooyong Road. And I remember at the time, everyone was getting in the ice baths and whatever else, which we didn't do that. But you went and said, we're going to pay, I was supposed to be 50 cents per light. You said $5 per light. And our competitors were just sitting there going, bing, 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 bing. Anyway, it was like $18,000 later.
I think it was over $20,000
later.
That we didn't raise, we paid.
Yeah. So thanks. So your challenges, they worry me, Phil. They really do. They worry me. But look, it was a good start on the weekend. Well done out there in Warrigal Road, and well done to Maureen. And there was a bit of a second story because there was another unit that we sold on the back of that, Phil. So there you go. While you were having a wonderful bit of a party time there in Surrey Hills, Leo Samuel was in his hood in Carnegie. It won at 207 Neeram Road, which had 4 bidders, Phil, and sold for $1,160,000. So well done over the range. Well done to Jack Slater and Leo, who had a great success there. So Phil, while you're just having a wonderful time swanning around in Surrey Hills, we're selling in Seaford, Phil.
Surrey Hills to Seaford, Gary.
And everywhere in between, Phil, from Surrey Hills to Seaford, have Gavin will travel.
That's a lot of territory.
It's a lot of real estate there in between those two suburbs, Phil. But anyway, if you're wanting to know what $436,000 gets you in Seaford, well, it gets you 9 at 18 Hadley Street, Seaford, which Leo Bar sold, and Simon Dolnick was dutifully ready to go and do the auction and prepared. He started his engine. He rides a motorbike as well, but I don't think he's gone.
And is a cyclist.
He is. So I don't think he rides down that way all the time, so he'd know it's around the corner for him. But we didn't get to auction, Phil, sold before. Okay. So well done to that. 22 Westdale Road, well, that is undisclosed result, Philip. We were quoting somewhere in that kind of lowish 2s, maybe towards mid 2s, and it was very
competitive auction, Gary.
Very
competitive because it was a north-facing parcel of land together with a really good, solid 70s house. And we had a really strong auction. 4 people bidding. We did. Sold it over the reserve price.
Wonderful
really
buyer
good
and wonderful seller. So well done to the buyer.
Outstanding result.
That something incredible going to happen there, Phil.
Yes.
So we're just going to put the market on notice right now. Something amazing is going to happen.
Watch that space.
Watch 22 Westdale Road, because you are going to see a transformation Innovation.
now in the hands of probably one of the most talented
Yes.
and best looking
yep.
builders
Oh.
you'll ever see. In
That
fact,
builder would love
in
to
fact,
hear that, Phil,
when
yeah.
I was conducting the auction, Gary,
Yes, you found it hard to concentrate.
and I've got to tell you, I'm a healthy heterosexual male,
Okay.
but I'm also a
Do we care? Do we need to hear about this? We don't want to.
you know,
I don't think we want
I'm
to hear
a
any
healthy, happy heterosexual male that also
Healthy, happy, hetero.
that is also very aesthetic. So I do appreciate beauty in all.
Is that aesthetic or pathetic?
No, aesthetic.
Okay,
I
just checking.
appreciate
Yep.
beauty,
Okay.
Gary. I
Yes.
appreciate beauty. Doesn't matter what how
Gender is,
people,
yeah.
what the gender is, or
yeah,
how
good.
they identify.
Yes, good.
But this person that bought the property does identify as a man.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, I was looking at him during the auction. I'm thinking that is one of the prettiest blokes you're ever likely to see.
Shall we move on? Let's go to Devon Street.
And of course, I'm looking down
Yeah,
the camera
yeah.
because I'm hoping he's watching.
Yeah, you know he's watching, but I think he's probably feeling a bit sick, so I hope it's not after dinner. Phil, let's move on to 2B Devon Street. I want to address this property, Phil, because, you know, it's interesting because there was another real estate agent at the auction, and as you know, I don't usually like to engage with other real estate agents that come to the auction because they've got no right to even be there, let alone, you know, say
come
anything.
on, Gary.
No, I don't like our competitors coming to auctions. Stay away, go do your own work. But while they're there, I'm going to be okay to them, I suppose. Anyway, this particular competitor said, or this other agent, this wonderful colleague said, this is like a gift, this property. It's like a gift to the market. And I thought it was an interesting observation to say because it is a beautiful property. It's like a beautiful
property
gift.
are you
Talk about Devon Street, Phil.
Right,
Devon
right.
Street, right? Get with the program, man. What's wrong with you?
Yes.
Second you turn that magic age, I don't know, you seem to switch off. 2B Devon Street, how good is that house?
I reckon, Gary, that is, we talked about it in the sales meeting yesterday, and we talked about how the fact that we just think it's an outstanding opportunity.
It really is a great home.
When you think, viewers, about dual occupancy, two townhouses side by side, that is the future, or it's not even the future, it's the here and now. I think it's probably one of the best I've ever seen, and sometimes I walk away when I pass something in and I scratch my head going, sometimes the market just gets it wrong. Because that is the most fabulous home, and if it's still around by the time this edition hits the press, you need to give us a call urgently because
Get over
it's
there,
fabulous.
Phil. Get over there. Dover Street, well, that was popular.
Yep.
You auctioned that in the park.
I auctioned that in the park.
I saw that. I couldn't get to that auction.
So it was lovely because I'm auctioning it in the park, and there's a nice crowd of people in the park. Princess Park's one of the best parks.
Great, love
And
big
great community people, and
Great
you know,
vibe.
people walking through the auction, cycling through the auction because we're doing it across the park. And anyway, I'm doing the auction, and I step backwards, and I feel my foot squish, and then I realise, I've stood in dog poo.
Oh no, you've done it again.
Well,
it's lucky.
You could say it's lucky. It's
lucky.
lucky.
Yeah. How lucky was it with the smell of your car on the way home?
I just shook my foot like that, got rid of it.
As Taylor Swift would say, you shook it off.
I shook it off, and it did.
Was she talking about that? Do you think?
It did help, Gary, because we went on and sold that property really well. So here's for potential vendors that are watching this show. If you want your auction to go really well, walk around the neighbourhood, collect dog poo, and then
put it behind your auctioneer,
around where your auctioneer is, because I've done it once. It's got 100% success.
That's what's been missing, I reckon.
100%
You know, I look at the properties that we passed in. There weren't many of them, but was there dog poo in those?
Well, that's it.
There wasn't,
was
it?
We might have uncovered. We might have uncovered a new strategy.
Exactly. We could have a whole new niche in the marketplace.
Let's get on with it.
The dog poo agents. Lovely, Phil. 60 Davis Street. Anyway, it sold for. It is disclosed, Phil. There were 4 bidders. We thought we'd get somewhere around 1, maybe 1.1, but it got closer to 1.2 as it turned out. 1,195 was the price on that, Philip. We also sold Fitzgibbon Crescent, well done to the vendors of that who were watching, and Edinburgh Avenue also, which is both undisclosed, but great homes. Loved Edinburgh Avenue.
Let's talk about the weekend that's coming up, Gary, because we've got a lot of auctions. How many auctions
We've got
this weekend?
26 of them, Phil. 26 of the finest auctions that you could imagine.
Beautiful.
And we're not waiting for the weekend. No, we can't, Phil.
I'm excited, Gary.
We're too impatient.
As I lean across and take these brochures, you kick it off and I'll do
kick it
the
off,
talking.
Phil. We're going to be in Dickens Street, Elwood. We're starting off Bayside, Phil. Tell us about this great block of apartments.
Well, Gary, this is a block of apartments, and check out how beautiful the building is. It's 4 3-bedroom house-sized apartments, and you've got off-street car parking. You've got the opportunity there to further improve this building as much as it's in wonderful condition at the moment. You know, we've seen some of these buildings, Gary, converted into single houses, or 4 apartments become 2 apartments. So lots of opportunity there, Gary, and of course Dickens Street, Elwood. Well, you don't get much better address in Melbourne than that.
You sure don't, Phil. That's a beauty. That one's going up at on the 24th, Phil, at 12 p.m. on Thursday. And we're going to be kicking off a couple of hours later in this another landmark block of apartments on Chapel Street, Phil.
Gary, Chapel Street near the intersection of Alma Road. This is a beautiful building. It's been held by the same family for many, many years. It's 9 one-bedroom apartments. So we've got 9 one-bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, of course. These are really good apartments, a wonderful 1960s building. And that's set to have the next chapter in its life because same owners have owned it for a long time, and these blocks generally get sold to somebody else who'll own it for decades.
Phil, on Saturday we move on with 13 auctions over 9 suburbs. We've got lots of action with 4 auctions at 10:30 a.m. and we're going to be auctioning from Patterson Lakes to Armidale and everything in between. Let's kick off at 10:30 in Patterson Lakes.
Well, Gary, Christian De Vries and Aviv Samuel are going down to sell a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom luxury apartment. What a great apartment, what a great outlook. Beautiful timber floors, everything that opens and shuts, and of course Patterson Lakes is a beautiful, beautiful address.
You'll be holidaying at home forever if you live
Correct.
there, Phil.
Correct.
Centre Road in Clayton South is my first auction at 10:30. I love it in Clayton South, Phil. Tell us about this
2
property.
bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, Gary, a car space and a courtyard garden. You're meeting Lior and Leon there. What a great opportunity.
You'll be meeting the wonderful Rafi Joffi, and you'll be meeting him in Elstwick, Phil, at Yorston. Tell us about this one at 10:30 a.m.
Gary, Rafi has sold the great majority of this building. There's only a few apartments left there. This is an incredible 3-bedroom and study, 3.5 bathroom, beautiful apartment that's got every conceivable luxury.
Yes.
It's brand new, and whilst it comes with 2 secure basement car spaces, Gary, you'd have to question why you'd need a car at all in that location when you've got the tram on your doorstep, every possible cuisine via cafes and wine bars.
Indeed.
You've got the classic cinema, you've got the Coles supermarket. It's all on your doorstep. A great building.
Phil, at 10:30 we're heading toward Murrabina to catch up with Graham Callan and Dan Dyson, who are auctioning and selling that property, and we're talking about Toward Street, Murrabina.
Oh, Gary, what a great pun, going toward Murrabina,
I've got
and
it
it's
all
a
going.
property in toward.
Oh, I've got it all going on,
That
Phil.
is,
Yep.
you're a
Wordsmith.
wordsmith. That's why you're such a great Scrabble player, Gary,
is,
because
Phil.
you're such a great
Words with
wordsmith.
friends. I've got a few battles going on.
Anyway, this is a great apartment, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, beautiful timber floors, a great kitchen, beautiful bathroom, extra large. What's not to love?
In all of our auctions, Phil, there's just one at 11:30. We've reserved that time for the only auction that's going to be happening, and it's a beauty, Phil. You're going to be auctioning this property in Horson Avenue, Glenhuntly.
4 bedrooms, Gary, and a study, 3.5 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, everything that opens and shuts, a beautiful home, beautifully decked out, and of course Glenhuntly just gets better and better and better.
If you've seen the Jersey Boys, Phil, you would say, what a great movie. And if you go to Jersey Road or Jersey Parade, you'll say, what a great property. This is at 301 at 28 Jersey Parade in Carnegie.
Check out this property, Gary. This is magnificent. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 2 secure car spaces, the most outstanding sun-drenched terrace that is beautiful with an incredible aspect.
And it's our only 12:30 auctions, but we've got 3 of them at 1:30. We're kicking off in Layla Road, Philip, at 1:30 p.m. Leo Samuel Auctions for Jack Slater once again.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, lovely green aspects from the living room. That's a beautiful apartment. And check out the kitchen, magnificent.
We'll give you a little break at 12:30, Phil, but we'll put you back to work at 1:30. We are going to be in one of the finest streets in Melbourne. That would be Mercer Road in Armidale.
Gary, single-story heaven, and you've got High Street Armidale on your doorstep together with the trams in High Street. You've also got Malvern Road, again with trams. So you've got trams, trains, shops, everything that you'd ever want. And Mercer Road is right up there with one of the best streets of Armidale. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage. Magnificent.
Jeremy Rosen's in his Bayside hood of Elwood, Phil, 10 at 38 Mitford Street, another fine property and a great address.
Gary,
what a great
the
looking building.
iconic Poets Corner landmark building. We love this building, as does the general public, because the apartments always sell well because it's a romantic property. You fall in love, and of course you walk out your front door and you've got the Blessington Gardens, you've got Ackland Street, you've got the beach, 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, beautiful curved wall in the dining living room area, polished timber floorboards. It's just magic.
Phil, 2:30, we're going to be in Bertram Street, Elstonwick. Leon Gusenfitter is excited about this property. We love Elstonwick. It's our second auction in Elstonwick on Saturday. Tell us about this terrific looking property.
Gary, this is a great property because you're getting everything here. This is 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking. It's got everything that opens and shuts. We love Bertram Street. You've got the park, you've got access to the Gardenvale Road,
love that
and the
little
train
park. All the
station,
cafes, Phil,
Martin Street.
Yep.
I really do love that hood.
I agree with you, Philip, and I tell you where else I love, where our careers sort of started off, which is in Ackland Street, St Kilda, Philip, and this time we're talking about Spencer Street, St Kilda, a block of fine apartments.
Yes, Gary, this is an incredible building. This is 15 apartments. What a great opportunity. You're on 674 square metres of land, so just the land alone is just so valuable. And you've got a cash flow because you've got 15 leased apartments.
Park on one side, beach on the other. Doesn't get much better, Phil.
It really doesn't.
Graham Callan is auctioning in Tranmere Avenue, Carnegie, where he does so much great work. Tell us about this one, Philip.
Gary, what's not to love? We love Tranmere Avenue. This is a really good property. Walking distance to everywhere you want to be.
2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, Phil, and 1 parking space on that one. We're in Sydney Street to bring down the curtain on a busy Saturday. Leo Samuel is meeting with Rishi, and we are going to be auctioning this 2 bedroom apartment.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. And Sydney Street, it all comes off Murrumbina Road.
Yeah.
And what a great location. Since they did the rail overpass
Unbelievable,
and the train station, that little area is starting to thump where we've got our Murrumbina office. If you haven't been to Levi's or Daniel's Son, it's just great. That whole little area gets better and better
all the time, Philip. And I love we now go over we go under the overpass and go over the underpass because now the train's gone under the ground, which I'm loving that in that Newham Road and Huntley Road. It's incredible.
Yes.
Phil, let's talk about Sunday. We kick off with 3 auctions at 10:30 a.m. You, I think, have got the auction honours of this fantastic property with the swimming pool there, Phil, in the middle of it.
Gary, this is a bit of
Narrow Road.
I think this is Caulfield North's finest secret.
Yeah,
because
isn't it?
you don't often get a 3-bedroom townhouse
In this price range,
right?
yeah.
In this price range, where you've got communal swimming pool.
Absolutely. Bit of Melrose Place happening
well,
there, Phil.
it is, but the townhouse itself is fabulous. 2-storey, good entertaining areas, courtyard gardens, both front and rear. A really, really good piece of real estate. And of course, that location, Gary, you've got Malvern on your doorstep, Armidale on your doorstep, Caulfield Park on your doorstep, the tram and Hawthorn Road.
Yep.
What's not to love?
We keep the Murrumbina groove going on Sunday, 10:30 a.m, Dandenong Road, 71216 Leo Samuel Auctions.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, a really good, solid building.
I'll be having a coffee early on Sunday morning, Philip, because my first auction is at 10:30 a.m, and it's at 60A Cambrook Road. Great looking property.
Oh, well, Gary, that development, I mean, a credit to the developers of this whole, I mean, it's like a suburb they've now created.
Yeah.
This
Metropolis it is, Phil. It's a
and it's
metropolis.
underpinned by the Coles supermarket. If you haven't been to that Coles
I have.
supermarket, well, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the viewers.
Oh, okay.
But if you viewers haven't been, Gary has. And if Gary's been to a supermarket, it takes
And
a
loved
lot
it.
of him
Exactly.
to actually do something domestic. But this is part of the East Caulfield Shopping Centre. This is a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car space in the basement. This is just the most incredible building. We love it.
Popular time slot, 11:30 on a Sunday, Philip. We're going to kick off with you doing the auction in Rotorua Street. Great property, this one, Phil. Tell us
Gary,
about it.
we love Rotorua Street. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking for 2 cars. That is a fabulous home and beautifully renovated throughout. It's just stunning in every way.
One of the most popular properties, Philip, that's had so much attention, so many people go through. I'm not surprised. Is this property in Glenira Road, 3828 Glenira Road, Caulfield. Phil, tell us a little bit about
Well,
this.
Gary, I went through that during the week. It was open for inspection. I dropped in and I thought, wow, this is incredible because the entertaining areas are massive with front courtyard gardens, side courtyard gardens, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It is a ripper.
Phil, we go from Glenira Road up the road to Glenhuntly Road. At the same time, we're going to be auctioning one at 1015 Glenhuntly Road.
What a great opportunity to get into the market. People complain about the cost of housing and it's a real issue, but these buildings, and particularly that stretch of Glenhuntly Road, you've got the tram on your doorstep, you've got cafes, you've got access to the train station up the road in Carnegie, but that's a good building and they're extra large apartments, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space.
You're well? Are you well?
I am, Gary.
I'm well too, which
So
means that we're both
both well.
And at 11:30, we're going to be auctioning 2D Bothwell Street in Balaclava.
Or you say Bothwell or Bothwell is probably more accurate. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, Gary. A carport, beautiful timber floorboards, architectural detail. Love that property. Love that location.
Looking forward to meeting Daniel Peer there for the auction, who has a very, very busy afternoon. He and Arlene. The rest of the afternoon, active in all of our properties. Philip, 15 Hart Street in Caulfield North. What a great location.
Gary, this is a good brick veneer single-storey home that you can move straight into and live happily ever after. Or you can explore the 605 square metre site, which is north-facing at the rear. So, you know, there will be a mix of people that are looking to buy the house and they'll be looking at those to develop the land. But that's a great opportunity.
Another great opportunity in Latrobe Street, Phil, 28 Latrobe Street, Caulfield South, going off at 1:30 p.m.
702 square metres of land there, Gary, with a 16.46 metre frontage, and our developer clients will know how important width is. But that's a great property, a very good, livable, lettable family home, but again, 702 square metres.
Arguably, or almost indisputably really, Burindi Road is the finest street in Caulfield South, and number 20 Burindi Road goes to the market with you doing the auction at 2:30, Phil.
Do you know, it's interesting, Burindi Road is regarded as the number 1 street, but having said that, there are so many good streets of Caulfield South. It's not like Burindi Road's number 1 and everything else is okay.
Yes, true.
Burindi Road, I think, is just the icing on the cake. But that's a beautiful 1960s stroke 1970s home, solid brick, 676 square metres of land, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, double garage, further car parking. I love Burindi and I love that property.
Well, you can knock off after that and enjoy some Sunday afternoon action, Philip, but I'm going to hang around and conduct the auction at 17 Marara Road, Parkside, living at its finest.
Well, Gary, there you've got 450 square metres of land on your own title, but across the road you've got hundreds of thousands of, well, I'm not sure you've got hundreds of thousands. You probably have hundreds of thousands of feet, maybe thousands of square metres of public land that the City of Glenara does such a good job looking after, and you've got Princess Park on your doorstep. But this is a great property because you can move into it, but you can further improve it. It's 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, off-street car parking, lock-up garage. I love real estate like that.
Go over to the corner, Phil, and just cross over. You've got Mr. Brightside for breakfast and lunch every day of your life, should you wish to have it.
You could.
Very affordable property too. It has been popular. Phil, a couple of properties to review before we go. One of those is in Webb Street. Now, I love this unit in Webb Street. Get a single level unit 1 of 2 is difficult, Phil. But even more difficult to get a double garage, which this one's got, and a great floor plan. Tell us a little bit about 23B.
It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, double lock-up garage, as you've said, a great courtyard garden. That's a property just move straight into, get on with life. We love those properties, and they've become so popular. It used to be the domain of just older buyers.
Yes.
Now, just as equally, we're selling them to young first-home
divorcees,
buyers.
single people, professionals. They're all into it, Philip. And if you're going to be into something, be into Hopeton Street, Elsternwick, because that is a great spot.
It is, Gary. This has got it's got a 3-street frontage. So anybody that wants to redevelop, subject to council approval, of course, you've got so much opportunity. But as it stands, it's the most beautiful kind of clinker brick. We've described it as Tudor treasure and a coveted locale. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. That is a wonderful property. Buy it, move in, or buy it and further improve, or buy it for the land, because it's just wonderful.
And John, who would be watching to the end, you've given some great poetry. We're not going to read any this week, but thanks for sending that through. I think it's almost therapy for John. He's on his way to Australia, Phil. He'll be here soon. From
John the poet, and doesn't he know it?
John the property poet, and doesn't he know it, coming in from the United States of America. Phil, that is a big wrap on this week's edition
of GPTV.
It was a long episode.
So much to talk
there's
about.
lots to talk about. There's lots happening, Phil, and lots of auctions and lots of listings coming and lots to be excited about. We'll continue to bring you all the real estate news on GPTV. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a fabulous week and thanks for watching.